Oh boy. Oh boy. You guys did this to yourself, okay? I told you I was going to tell you some lies, all right? I told you this last night. I didn't know the extent of the lies. But, hey, we're happening. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. I told you we rock and roll. I'm going live today to go over the first day of spring. We have a jam-packed one for you. We're going to have Mr. Stephen Harris on in a little bit. I'm running out of air because I'm that excited. But first of all, we're going to tap into Mr. Cam Parker. He was on the field today. We got boots on the ground, got some of his film, his clips that he got from today. Pick his brain a little bit. He was also at the presser. So a lot of things happening in day one that we had to dive into. I have been spewing. Look, I've already booked my tickets to Atlanta. We're already booked and locked and loaded, boys and girls. DJ Lagway got me telling all kinds of stuff. Okay, I am jazzed up, and I'm sure Cam here is going to just fuel that as I start to ask him some questions. So let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Cam Parker, ladies and gentlemen. Cam, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I appreciate you hopping on here, man. You were tweeting out some gems, and I was just salivating at the bit, just clipping, quoting, whatever I could do to get it out there as fast. These are all of your clips. I call this the Cam highlight reel that you posted today. So this is all Cam right here. All of his clips.
Let's start telling some lies. You know, it's spring ball, man. We're building statues right now. We're ready to go.
I love it. Go give Cam a follow, guys, on Twitter. I'm sure we'll be in a lot of these clips throughout the remainder of spring practice at Cam Parker 25. So you guys can keep up with it as well. If you want, obviously, my special sauce on it, obviously, you know, I'll be quoting him as well. But let's hear it, man. I asked you before the show how long you've been following Florida football. From a writing sense, you've been following it since Mullen left. So, hey, yeah. Real quick, not to take any shot. Have you maybe thought maybe you're the problem, Cam? You haven't been there for a winning season.
It's gone past football too. I covered Mike White's last year, kind of half covered Todd Golden's first year, and then I was on the baseball beat last year for ESPN Gainesville when they blew it in the Natty. So, you know, I'm kind of maybe I need to step away for a little bit. You know, at least 1 year, kind of see how things go. But I'm itching for that first winning season, man. I'm kind of tired of writing about losses. You know, it's been tough.
I'm sure. Everyone for asking about who Cam Parker. Cam works alongside Zach Adall at all Gators on FN. So that's who Cam is and where he's coming from. So look, man, I want to get your thoughts on this. I think we were just saying too, there's a lot of new toys to talk about and a lot of new guys to go over. What was the first thing that stood out to you? The difference just off the rip, you just felt it from last year to this year.
I mean, even you can even see it in Napier too in his press conference. It feels like, you know, weights have kind of been lifted off his shoulders. He has his guys in. Obviously, the new special toys at quarterback right now with DJ Lagway, and you know, 90% of the reporters were watching him the entire time. Some good depth at other positions. I don't know if Florida's had that in the last couple of years. I watched a lot of the defensive backs today just because a lot of new faces in that room as well. So it's just we all know it's a critical offseason for Napier and this staff. Going into year 3, they haven't had a winning season yet. So much roster turnover. So obviously it's a critical offseason, but you know, this time it didn't feel new stressful. It definitely felt like, hey, he's got his guys in. You know, let's take a look and see what's going on here. And again, I think it's shown that the guys that he's done evals on, the guys that he's brought in, they've been the main contributors. And now we're getting to see a team with 95% are Napier's guys. So it's a lot of excitement, I think, just to kind of see what's going to happen. You know, again, a critical offseason, but as you said, a lot of new toys where this feels like a brand new team. So we'll see what happens. I think, you know, again, first day of spring, it's a lot like the new first day of school. You kind of just, you know, you get excited to go put your new clothes on, show off your new bag and walk in strutting your stuff and you know, looking all fancy. So, you know, we'll see how it goes the rest of the spring. There's still, you know, 13 practices and then the spring game. So, you know, we'll see how it goes from there. But I thought it was a good day. It was an exciting day to see all those new pieces.
That was something I was thinking about too. Obviously, it's the first practice. These guys are going to show out. They're excited. There's a ton of energy there, right? They're fired up to get the pads back on. So you would expect to see this the most electric, the most upbeat. I think we get later into the practices, and obviously the spring game, we're farther into it. That's where I think you can get a little more critical because, like, hey, are they getting tired? Is the excitement still there? Is it just, okay, now we're going through the motions again because the newness is wearing off? That's going to be something, in my opinion, to keep an eye on. I don't know how much of you were able to notice it last year, but again, these are things that just, what you're hearing about, just accountability from last year to this year. And something, again, speaking to Billy, let's dive into that for a moment. During his presser, there's a lot of questions about the new hires that came in because I think Fitz left and you guys didn't get to talk to him. Ron Roberts, he spoke about that last time, but now these guys have been in place. Mark Robinson, who's like I don't even know what he does, but he's in front of the front office staff. So he brought these guys up of like, look, there's a lot of things that are off my plate, which he spoke about early on, but now it's like he's been in this process. Do you feel that like he wasn't just kind of blowing smoke, that like, hey, like, no, actually I feel like there a lot has been lifted off his shoulders, and he seemed to be more like, yeah, we're where we want to be. We're right where we want to be. Whether it works or not, we got to win. Obviously left to be seen, but things seem to be clicking.
I mean, it felt like that when he walked into the room for the press conference. You could kind of see that. First off, you could tell it was a great day of practice. Just from the way he Napier is and the way he kind of just walked in, he and had a little pep in his step. He was smiling. So you could tell when the weights have been lifted off of someone's shoulders, just human interaction. You could really tell with this that he is starting to get back to being a true coach of football, and having Robinson in that spot as that NFL GM type, he could kind of focus on what actually being a coach is. And that's focusing on the players, recruiting kids in the portal, recruiting kids in high school, being that day-to-day coach. And he doesn't have to always deal with the NIL and you know just the extra stuff that he didn't have to deal with as a coach 5 years ago.
Sure.
So it's, and I know the saving comments that have come out this week too about what happened after, they
Yeah.
lost in the Rose Bowl. Chip Kelly talked about it too in his, transition going to Ohio State as an offensive coordinator. And, the one thing with Napier is he's not going to tell you too much. He's not going to really give too much of a quote indication of how he's feeling about things, but you can kind of see with the reshuffling of the organization, at least from outside of football, from the player development, strength and conditioning, having Robinson as that GM type of guy, that the weights have been lifted off of his shoulders a little bit. We'll just have to wait to fall to see if that transitions to better performance on the field, obviously.
Sure.
But you could see that it was a good day for Napier and the Gators today. It was a really good day for them.
Yeah, I think again he got a swagger back is what it felt like. They also asked the question, when are you basically, how invested are you into the NIL? When are you when are you focusing on it? It felt like a Dan Mullen question, like, hey, when are you recruiting? It's like, it's not recruiting. It was a teed up for that. I think he answered it well. He said, I was watching film last night till 9 p.m. was his response essentially. Yeah. So I think he dodged a bullet.
I mean, from day one, he talked about how he loves to recruit, and I think that's when people started to get the heart eyes for Napier before the losses started to happen, because obviously the main difference between him and Dan Mullen is the recruiting.
Sure.
The recruiting. I know the recruiting rankings, especially this year, the drop off weren't great, but the actual players that they're bringing in are a lot better, and you see at least the effort in recruiting that you didn't see with the previous half. So this isn't like a shame on Dan Mullen thing. We're 3 years into the Napier era, so we don't really have to talk about that anymore. But when Napier came in, he talked about he loves player development and he loves recruiting. And now with the reshuffling, obviously he's still going to have to know about NIL
Sure,
and be
but more bird's eye view.
But it won't be a major focus. He can focus on, first off, what he loves to do and what a head coach should be. And that's, player development, recruiting, the on-field stuff, the X's and O's, and he doesn't have to deal with this extra stuff that it's still the wild, wild west and brand new, even though we're a few years into it. All bets are off the table still with NIL and transfer portal, but he doesn't have to focus on that as much as he used to. He can go back to being player development, X's and O's, recruiting, things like that. So, and you could see that too, just again, the way he walked into the press conference today, some of the smiles he had at the questions he was answering. you could tell that the weight has been lifted off the shoulder, and today was a really good day.
Now, we were talking before the show as well too with this quarterback room. Again, we know what Lagway is. I talked about it on last night's show. I was really excited to see, is he going to be, and what I mean by the real deal, right? Not what Arch Manning came out in this hype and it kind of went flat. How I noticed pretty quickly is the difference, this film, right, that we're seeing right now compared to last year, the last 2 years when it was Jack Miller and Max Brown. It's, and we know we were getting out of Mertz, and I feel like Mertz should have taken a step further. It's gonna be hard to tell because we're all the eyes are looking at that new toy. But the two quarterbacks we have throwing the ball right now, the room looks incredible.
This is probably the best that Gator fans and a coaching staff at UF should feel about a quarterback room since 2020. I mean, obviously the big, it's not really a big storyline and it's not really a surprise, but Mertz is the first quarterback to come back and be the incumbent starter going into the next season since Kyle Trask. And I saw some of the comments and some of the tweets today about Lagway, build the statue now, put him in, coach,
Got to.
stuff like that. And the one thing that we joke about this too, as the beat reporters when we walk into practice, and obviously it's, you see the comments too. It's 15 minutes of on-air drills that we get to see. So we really try not to make a big deal about stuff like this because we don't get to see a live defense. We don't get to see, truly how things are. But Lagway, he's got some zip on that ball, man. He does not hesitate to rip it, and he was pretty accurate today. Just you could see the way the ball flies out of his hand. Throwing those slant routes, and my favorite pass was the one to Khalil in the corner, the one that was just shown on video. He ran a boot to the right and just floated it, and I tell you, it was right in the corner to where only Khalil could get it. It was a great throw, and that was one of the best throws I saw today. So it's, I can't say, obviously he's a legit quarterback. I mean, there's no denying that. 5-star, highly recruited. Everyone wanted him up until signing day. But we may have to pump the brakes a little bit until we get to see him in a real game setting. And he's going to play this year. I mean, he's going to play this year. Napier said it. DJ has said it. He's going to have packages where he plays this year. It's not going to be where he sits the bench and learn, and then we have to wait until next year. He's going to play this year. So, I'm excited to see what he brings. Obviously, he's more dynamic as a runner than Mertz is. And, certainly he's got really good arm talent to where you don't want to just limit him to running the ball. But I'm excited to see what he can do in an in-game setting and what specific packages that they have for him. Mertz is going to be the starter. He earned that right last year. There isn't a quarterback competition. I think people have forgotten because the season was so long ago just how much of a difference maker Graham Mertz was for this team. Without Graham Mertz, you're talking about Florida maybe having 2 wins, maybe. With his performance, he wasn't the problem last year. So he'll be the starter, and he's healthy after being hurt last year. But it's still, you can't not play DJ Lagway. You can't not play him. So I'll be interested to see what packages they have for him, how they plan on using him. Because also it's a gauntlet of a schedule too. So there's no easing him in right away as a quarterback. It's, you're gonna play and you gotta contribute and you gotta be ready. So I'm excited to see what he can do. Obviously, he's going to be the talk for the entire spring camp.
Oh, it's gonna be nuts.
And even in fall camp too, it's just going to pick back up. Don't remember the last time there was a quarterback with this much buzz. Even Anthony Richardson didn't have this much buzz coming in.
Sure.
Even Felipe Franks, when he was a highly touted 4-star, there wasn't this much buzz with him coming in. So it's an insane asylum, and I guarantee that if they had open practices, 99.9% of the fans would be by the quarterbacks watching him because that's just the type of player he is. So still pump the brakes a little bit on, building the statue and Heisman and him starting, but the hype should be real. He's a legit player. I'm excited to see what he does. We'll just have to wait till fall to see what packages he's in and how he does with that.
Give us one. We have 2 more things I want to go over. Big Des. Big elephant in the room. All right?
Yeah.
But before we do that, give me a guy that stood out to you today that just that stood out. I was gonna kind of give you some parameters, but I think it's early enough that you can just say this guy I wasn't expecting. Kind of obviously not DJ Lagway.
Yeah. Asa Turner, the
Hmm.
safety transfer from Washington, he's huge. It blew me away when I walked in and I just saw how big this guy was. They did some tackling drills. I'm sure you saw the clip of Will Harris kind of getting flipped over
Yeah,
by
yeah.
a few of the players. But Asa Turner, man, he is going to be a really good contributor this year for Florida. I like what he brings. I think any defensive back that has the ability to tackle should excite Gator fans, considering the troubles that they've had the last couple of years.
Sure.
But I see what he brings to the table. He was injured last year at Washington. People kind of go, Washington made it to the national championship game. Oh, here's a player from Washington. Let's he's going to be really good. He was hurt a lot last year, but I wrote about it because I did the safeties and star preview for all Gators. He was a massive contributor for Washington when he was on the field. He had some hand injuries last year, but he's healthy this year, and you know there's plenty of room for improvement in the safety room, and I think he's going to bring it. It was between his size and some of the light tackle work he was doing, he looked good, and I'm excited to see what he can do in a live ball game,
That's
especially at the SEC.
that's going to be extremely exciting for Gator fans to hear, especially to partner up with Jordan Castell. I think that was
Yeah,
where he shined last year. You give him some veteran experience next to him. And again, we struggled in the secondary. That was something that was, and then even Princely spoke about it. He kind of took a jab and deleted that tweet about if the secondary could guard for a little bit longer. All those things are
yeah.
complementary. So that's awesome. I love hearing that. I think that was not a name that I was intending to hear, but I'm glad that we are hearing that now. A lot of people are asking about D line. You mentioned that you didn't have a chance to see the defensive line, but I did want to kind of get your thoughts. And you guys are a little bit closer to the pulse than we are. So where is, I mean, we talked about it last night, just the big Des situation going on with the weight gain. And look, it seems kind of like a little crazy to talk about it, but it is a point of emphasis, and there's a lot of questions because we want him to be successful. I think that's ultimately at the end of the day, we love the guy. He's a sweetheart, and I
Yeah.
want him to do well. And look, if you can function with that weight, cool. I think this might be a little over the top. What are you hearing?
Well, that was when the rosters came out yesterday and they saw the weight gain. That was obviously, it felt like a little like deja vu. Again, this is the third or fourth off season where we're talking about Desmond Watson and his weight control and weight gain and things like that. um it's something to keep an eye on, and when they update the numbers again going into the fall, it'll definitely be something to keep an eye on too. um I don't know how much of that is due to the fact that they've had a lot of shuffling in the strength and conditioning program, at least by the head strength and conditioning with Mark Hockey being reassigned. They had Craig Ferguson, I think was his name. He came in, or Fitzgerald comes
Fitzgerald.
in. And he leaves for Boston College after 5 weeks, and now they have Tyler Miles, even though Miles he was previously on the staff and they just promoted him. So I don't know how much of that, shuffling had to do with anything. Um, but it's a concern. I mean, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And I imagine that because this has been going on for so long now, that they are doing something about it. Like, you can't not do something about it. If that means that he's getting up earlier than some other players to get more of a workout in, or if they have weight goals for him to reach. Again, that's something that goes back to high school football too. I mean, that's not anything that's crazy or out of left field to say that players who maybe struggle with weight have to do more work than some other guys, or they have weight quotas to hit every week or so. So, that was something that we had to do when I played high school football, even though it was a really small high school. We didn't win a lot of games, but we had to do that. And so I imagine that that's something that they're doing too, just, keeping an eye on it, trying to get it under control. Um, because, this is the third or fourth off season that we're talking about this. And
Yeah.
you would think by now it would be a different story. Um, Des Watson, he didn't have the greatest year last year. Kind of got leaped a little bit or left a little bit in the depth chart, with Jamari Lyons coming in and being a little bit more of a contributor. and now Lyons is back, and they have Joey Slackman who can kind of move inside outside a little bit. So, I think with this being his last year, it really truly is make or break for him to kind of, because he doesn't get the COVID year. He came in 2021, so this is year 4 of eligibility for him. So,
Mm,
you know, this it is make or break. We'll see what happens. The good news is there's a lot of depth on the defensive line now, so it isn't like you're throwing a player who isn't ready. You But we'll just have to keep an eye on it and see how does this affect his performance, because 2022 he had a good year. He had a good year in
he did.
2022, kind of rotational player, especially as the year went on. He got better. Last year, he didn't really get to see the field too much, and he kind of got, lapped by some guys on the depth chart. So, the weight is obviously a concern. Sometimes they get weights wrong. So, and we were wondering this last year too when they dropped. I think he was down to 440 or something like that last year. Um, we were kind of wondering how true that was, maybe 430. So who knows? Maybe it is exaggerated a little bit because of, if they got the weight wrong last year or not. But um, it's I'd be wrong to say it's not concerning. It is a little concerning. Um, Love Big Dez. He's a good dude. I remember him saving the turtle
Yeah,
on that one time. So he's a good dude, and when he's capable, he's a really good football player. They just have to control that weight a little bit. And again, it's only spring ball. It's
plenty of
the
time.
first day of spring.
Yeah,
There's plenty of time for changes to happen and for him to be ready for the fall. But it is the fourth off season that we're talking about his weight. So it's, I can't imagine how frustrating it is for the strength and conditioning staff and for Des himself to have to, see some of this stuff about, his weight on Twitter. Cause I know
sure.
he's seen, and it's going to be something where if he goes to the podium, I don't know if he'll go this spring or not, but if he goes to the podium, it'll be one of the first questions asked is about his weight, and that's 3 or 4 years of him being asked about this. So I can't imagine the frustration, but we'll just, again, spring ball,
Time will
we'll just have
tell.
to keep it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, and you mentioned too. There are some other interviews with Mertz, I think, and then the Tyler Miles that will be coming out probably in the next couple of days. So we'll be sure to keep our eyes peeled for that. I imagine Zach is going to be on that task.
Yeah, he's there right now. I left right after Napier's press conference. Ran a little late. I think Tyler Miles was heading to the podium when I got my car to drive back home. So he should be wrapped up. Graham should be closing any minute now. We'll get some of the quotes back maybe within the next hour or so, and you'll start seeing stories up from all the different sites and publications soon. Because Napier also talked about Tyler Miles and Graham Mertz too. So, you already have the Napier quotes. We'll just have to wait and see. But I don't think anything should be a major surprise coming from those guys. Again, we spoke to Graham almost every press conference last year. He was always almost there.
He's a Billy
And then Tyler,
clone, so you're not going to get much from
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. Quite literally, you're not going to get much from him. And I guarantee that most of this Mertz press conference is going to be questions about his shoulder and questions about DJ Lagway. So
We'll get a little bit
there's,
then. We'll get a little bit with the
yeah,
DJ stuff. I think it'll be
yeah,
a little enticing.
yeah. And then the Tyler Miles stuff. I mean, he was on the staff last year. He worked with Craig Fitzgerald's previously, so it's nothing should be major groundbreaking stuff that comes out. But because it is the first day of spring, Mertz being back as the incumbent starter, having a 5-star QB behind him, and a new strength and conditioning coach, technically the third strength and conditioning coach they've had since the end of the season. It should be. It's at least interesting stuff that could come out, but I don't know if anything groundbreaking is going to come out from this.
I love it. Well, Cam, I really do appreciate you coming on here, man. If you're free to come on again throughout this spring practice period to talk about it, I would love it. I know the fans love hearing about it. Again, just being able to, you're there, right? We see the film, but it's much different. You pick up on things. You're not going to record
Yeah.
everything. So this was awesome. I really do appreciate you hopping on here. Again, you can find him on X at Cam Parker 25. I got the bell turned on, just like I do with Zach. So we're ready to rock and roll, man. Anywhere else they can find you or keep up with your stuff, or is that mainly X?
Mainly X. Just do work with all Gators since last season. Zach brought me onto the crew, and it's been a lot of fun. He's a good dude, works very hard. Blessed to have this opportunity with him. And Brandon Carroll, he's been working really hard on the basketball beat. So, two good guys that I enjoy working with. And then high school football stuff too. I work with Main Street Daily News here in Gainesville. Call some high school football games on a weekly basis, and then merge them together sometimes to do some recruiting stuff. So if you saw the video of Kendall Jackson flipping to Texas A&M that went viral, that was me. So you're welcome, Twitter, those reactions, because I got to be there front and center for that. And there's some good guys here in the Gainesville area who are getting some offers in and getting looked at by Florida. So we'll definitely try to keep an eye on those guys. A couple kids at Newberry, a
Quest Carter.
few more kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jarquez Carter, he's a good kid. There's a few more at Buchholz, obviously, to keep an eye on. Buchholz has just been pumping out Division I kids for the last 4 or 5 years or so. So definitely we'll be keeping an eye on that when the fall rolls around, some of the kids that they have over there. So mainly X is where I have all my work, but yeah, there's just 2 publications I enjoy working with, and I get to merge them every now and then to bring some good content.
I love it. Well, Cam, thank you again, man, for hopping on here. I really do appreciate it. Go give Cam a follow. And until next time, man, we'll see you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man. All right, boys and girls, we have now bringing to the table, of course, Mr. Steven. What's going on, Harris?
Yo,
what's up,
what's going on, boss? What's going on?
What's up, Mr. Barry Manilow?
I admit I like how I sound too.
Yeah. Golly, yeah, my wife come back in here again or something easy.
No, that's enough with your wife, Sean.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, shout out to Cam. Great insights, man. Appreciate your work.
That was awesome, man. I love that. We're gonna talk about it, man. Let's dive into it. I do want to talk about this first before we talk. I got more film that I was saving to go over with, but we had Jarquez Carter, who he was just referring to, goes to Newberry. We were crystal ball with him. We literally talked about him Wednesday. Gerald Chapman kind of came in and really made a big impression on him. He stopped by, surprised Florida today. This was a Corey Bender article that I ripped. That I ripped this little quote from. You go read the whole thing. I loved this. It says, defensive line coach Gerald Chapman definitely impressed me. Definitely loved the way he was coaching. He had a lot of energy, made practice more fun to watch. I know the players had fun being out there. Just the coaching staff and what they've been doing, trying to rebuild the team. You can see a lot has changed for the better. We have recruits out here lying, Steven. You know what I'm saying?
Smoking.
Like, what?
Yeah.
What more do you need?
They doing better than me.
What a day.
I told guys be on the lookout for Coach Chapman, man. The energy he brings to the game, his excitement for the game, and then the way he coaches. He's a high octane, high intensity coach, but doesn't waste your movements. Everything he does is to make you better as a football player, not just out there doing things just to do it. So I'm sure he saw a lot of that today, saw his excitement and passion that I've been seeing and hearing from him. I'm excited about Coach Chapman and what he's going to do with the defensive line. It's a very important position on the field. And if you get the right coach, you can win championships.
And that's something we've talked about plenty of times. The coach that you had that came in made a huge impact on your career.
Yeah.
Made an impact.
Yeah,
made an impact obviously on that team becoming a championship team. And how much, again, it gets overlooked because of all the other pieces, but it is a big factor. And I'm pumped to watch those film with you and have those reactions on Monday. Hopefully it's a lot of W Mondays where we're having things to talk about. But
victory Mondays.
We'll have one after the spring game. Definitely have to break down that a little bit. I think the small stuff that we really picked apart last year was lining up. Just those things are going to be huge. I also read in an article, again, there was a lot of moving pieces that were how the landscape of everything. So Coach Harris, the DB coach, he was over the entire secondary, which last year Armstrong was over the safeties. So he had the safeties, he had the linebackers, I think, for a little bit, and also he's the coordinator. But this year, Will Harris was over in the entire secondary, which another thing, the reason I'm also stating this too, because some people had their thoughts on the coaching staff that not much upgrades have happened. Well, you've got a guy that's coming in for the first year who they're fully handing the things off to, where last year
Right.
wasn't fully handed
We
off
couldn't.
to Coach Raymond. So got that.
Yeah.
Gerald Chapman obviously had D line. Mark Roberts was over the linebackers, and they said basically Armstrong was just on a little hovercraft going to each position group. So it feels like
Perfect.
not only did Billy, like hand some things off, but now like both these guys are in their respective roles and not having to do multiple things at one time, which I think again the big mistakes we saw last year were just like small dumb things, and it's like why aren't you focused on this? This
Right.
is the step to getting those things off your plate, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, because communication is key when you're dealing with the cornerbacks and the safeties. Those guys have to talk to each other to know who's got your back on the back end. And when you have two different coaches, Coach Armstrong, for me, if he was going to coach a position, would be a linebackers coach. But we have those coaches shored up. So now he's able to just roam around and make sure all the pieces are going. There's nothing like having your position coach there coaching you, but then your defensive coordinator comes over to your
Double
position group
dipping.
during practice. You turn up a lot more. You go a little bit harder. You know what I mean? Because that guy's there. Hey, this is defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? He's not necessarily my position coach, but he's the defensive coordinator, and that turns it up a lot more. And I believe that we needed that freedom from him, because him coaching the safeties. No offense, but I don't think that's his specialty. I think he did it because he had to.
Sure.
No shots out to the other defensive back coaches that we had, but Coach Will Harris is a complete defensive back coach from the safeties down to the corners. So for him to have all those guys in one room, getting all those guys on the same page is going to speak volumes for our defense. I like it like that. I don't like having the safeties in one room, and it's like breaking up the D tackles and D ends. Like, why would we do that? We're all defensive line.
Yeah, it's again, it just kind of specialties for certain things. We need to keep it
Yeah.
separated. So look, it's crazy to think, but those are small W's in my opinion, just from day one that we're seeing.
sure.
And like we talked with Cam, right? It's early. Everyone's gonna be excited. The one thing I will say though is that there is a ton of toys to go through. We really didn't crack into the linebacker room. I saw one video of
Yeah.
Miles Graham
Oh man.
and Derek Wingo. So that's an entire room to tap into. We didn't get much from the D line. We didn't see Big Dez. We saw a little bit of Joey Slackman, which we're going to show here in just a minute. I'll
I
pull it
peeped
up.
on the backside. I saw Dez on the backside hitting them sleds. I peeped back there.
Oh, you did see him.
Yeah, so in the video where you see Cam hitting the sled on the far end, well, not that video, but it's the side view. You can
Okay.
see Dez from the side.
Okay, and there's Armstrong there peeking with the visor game strong.
Yeah.
So obviously linebacker room, the running back room, we saw a couple of clips of them catching balls at the back, not much running going on. So another
Mhm.
room we get to talk into. Obviously the wide receiver room, we saw them catching balls. Khalil Jackson, Marcus Burke, Tanks, Tawaski, those guys just looked electric. Aiden Mazzell had a bunch
Yeah.
of big picks. Didn't see anything from DK. So look, this excites me. These are good things because these are a lot of things that we have to look forward to in the next couple of days. That how much we got today, and we're not even done yet.
Hey, know what I like, Sheldon, though? It's a clip from the defensive lineman. I don't know, maybe I didn't see it in your clip, but I saw it on Twitter, where everybody's going through the drill and they're hitting the bag, they're coming out their hips, right? And
This one?
I think, yeah, but it's from a different angle where you can
Yeah.
see the guys. I saw it on Twitter, but the coach stopped the last guy and was like, "No, that's not good enough. Get back in line."
Really?
I like that because I was hearing murmurs last year where guys were just going through the
The
drill,
motions.
and
Yeah.
and even if they not necessarily through the motions, but even if they messed up, they was like kind of just get in line and just redo it, but not start over. You know what I mean?
It's different
So
between
I like the
resetting and
fact
getting
that
back in the line because you're wasting a
yeah,
rep, right? Like you're cheating.
yeah, no, we not, yeah. And he's like, nope, I need you to do it again, and that I like that.
It's small details. And again, like we're getting nitpicky. It's March. That's what we're here to do. We're here to tell lies and tell you that, like I told you, I already booked my
Hey,
ticket to Atlanta. We're doing it.
always
Look,
small details with championship.
it is. That's going to be the difference maker. What excited me about today, just seeing all this. I mean, the zip from DJ Lagway.
Oh my God.
Come on, Steve.
Hey, he got
Come on,
got
champ.
nitro. he got a turbo booster on that hip, man.
Champ.
I don't know if it's a baseball, but he got an extra little. It's something. Oh yeah,
A little zip. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
The wide
Man, it's
receiver room looked
beautiful.
good. They looked
Look
explosive.
at
They
this.
looked in
Oh my God, look
control.
at that pass.
And
Oh my God, that pass.
Khalil Jackson,
I'm looking
man.
at
I
your
mean,
screen.
walk on from a couple years ago, got upgraded to a scholarship last year, had some big time catches. I expect him to make some climbs this year. That room is really
Yeah.
talented. There's a lot of unknowns, but it's super talented. I'm really excited to see again the O line. We didn't see a lick of the O line today, Steven.
No, we hiding the O-line. They hiding right now.
Okay.
We'll see them.
They're stretching. They're doing.
We'll see them. They're going through the shoots. There's no fun just going through the shoots. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see that clip you showed? The coach pushed Cam head down to make him get lower.
No, is it on this?
It's in your it's on your reel. It's funny, man. But that's
Okay.
the little details, man.
Explain that. So it's coming up here in just a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, you'll see it shortly.
Right here?
Right here. Look. Nope. Down. You got to get lower, big man. Yeah. So those are the little things. Normally they'll come up to the bag, and if your height's not the right height, they just pushing it and moving on. These coaches are not playing with the small details. I love that.
That is good. And again, something probably like the casual eye wouldn't notice.
He's a tall guy. He's a tall guy. So you think, oh, he's down. He's bending down like the rest of the guys. Well, no, you need to be lower because you're taller.
Yeah, that's my problem. Yes, your height is your advantage, but use it to your advantage. Get lower and lift their ass up off the ground.
Yes, sir. Because if you stand up with them and you under them, they might be off their feet.
You've lost your entire leverage, right?
Yeah.
You're not even using your extra 2 inches. So
yeah. So I like that. Look, get down.
I love it.
Like
now, so look, this is what I was excited to have you.
I look at it differently.
I know. That's why I'm pumped. Let me see if I got some more. I'm fired up now. Look, these are things that we look at, and we know. I mean, we've seen it enough to know if it looks a little better. What I've noticed the difference from watching this stuff last year to this year, it's day one. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But is the explosiveness? Everyone looks thicker. Everyone looks thick. I felt like last year we looked really lean. And that was what everybody said again. Like, and I didn't notice it last year, but now I've seen the difference. Everybody looks.
And there's
thick.
no padding. There's no padding in these clothes. That's just their legs. That's
no what
pad.
I'm saying, bro. Them boys didn't look this thick last year.
And it's tight though. It's not. Get down, Cam. I like watching that. The reason why I like it because I saw a clip earlier of the D-line going through the motions, and I thought it was a part where he wasn't down low enough, and I felt like he might have been going through the motions of practice. But now I see you. With this clip that let me know that the coach noticed it, and he might not have said nothing to him the first rep, you know what I mean? Not to rub him wrong, but now with him pushing his head down, that let me know he caught it. And just like I caught it, just from watching it. It was earlier in the practice when I saw it. I was like, Cam, you're not down low enough. You kind of going through the motions, but I see here the coach like, nah, this is not gonna work. We need every rep to count, and I like that. I love that. But that's what I knew the Coach Chapman would bring. Intensity and detail.
Oh, hold on. I got a clip here. Hold on. Let me share the screen with you. Real quick while I pull a clip. Muddy says, ask Mr. Harris who are you most excited to see this spring? Let me get this pulled up.
Everybody, man.
That's
it's so much to be excited. It's so much to be excited about, man. It's tough.
You got.
I really, I'm a defensive lineman, so I want to see the defensive lineman do well. I want to see what Coach Chapman gonna do with Tyreek Sapp. I believe Sapp has the ability to be a breakout player.
Here we go.
And with the right techniques and right coaching, I believe he's gonna be a beast.
So that's Caleb Banks, I think, right there. Not 95 over here, 88 coming up here on the left, far left. That's Caleb Banks. So what's your thoughts on that? That's Chapman right there, right?
I believe so. That's it was a film.
Oh, it's too small.
It's another view.
My bad.
Yeah,
sorry.
I like it. One thing I did notice, and I said now, Des. The only thing I know it's the first day. We probably trying to give him a break, but when that drill over, just the body language after the drill should be a little bit more.
That's Joey Slackman. Oh,
yeah.
big.
You see how Joey Slackman? You see how Joey Slackman finished and he ran after the play? Go back. I'll show you what I mean. This is mindset and mentality. See when Joey Slackman finished? See how he started to jog, that light jog right there? Now watch when everybody else finish. Walk. Look. Did you see that? Watch Slackman. He finished.
Little jog.
He turns and jog.
And yeah, so Cam's high right here.
Watch this. You finish. Look, did you see the finish?
Yeah.
After you finish, how you
Wow,
stood
yeah.
back up. Don't stand back up. Shuffle out of there low, man. Let's go make the play.
All the
We have
way
to
out.
finish.
And look how much lower Joey is.
Let's finish all the way through. Joey Sackman is there to show us what it takes. We had a talent, but it's the little things like that matters. The man shuffled a full 3-4 more yards to clear it.
Yeah,
We're not stopping. We're not stopping when the play is just when the coach blow the whistle. You dead. You just stop. No.
And again, for people who
That's
don't
how
know,
you.
like
That's how you get those fumbles and all that stuff and turnovers and the extra stuff, man. That's
Joey
what we
Slackman
need.
was the highest rated lineman from the Ivy League school last year in PFF with an incredible rank. So this isn't some guy who's like an up and comer. Like he's a leader and he's still playing like that. That speaks volumes. That again, Cam is the leader. You set the tone.
Yes, yeah. But he has to see it. He has to see it. You're coming from another conference. I mean, and you're coming to the Gators, but there was nobody in front of you to show you. You have all the talent, you have all the skills, but it's these little things in practice that Joey Slackman is bringing that's gonna. Because when Coach see this film, he's gonna point it out. Coach Chapman. If I'm pointing it out, Coach Chapman's gonna point it out. I wouldn't expect nothing less from him.
Now, if
they won, but this is why I said.
Let's put you in Slackman's shoes, okay? Harris, you're 97, and you run around and you see this. When do you say something to Cam?
After about week 2, maybe not even week 2, maybe after week 1.
Okay, so you're gonna give him 5 days to catch on then.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like, hey, bro, we got to do. It's not saying something to you like, hey, you're not doing. It's just explaining it to you like how I'm explaining it. It's coming just to tell you how important it is. Hey, bro, this is how we finish plays. You got guys behind you that are watching you that are younger than you. They got to see you finish these plays. I know you can make the tackle, but you got to do everything every day in practice because guys behind you are number 2s and number 3s. They don't have your skill. That's why they're number 2 and number 3. So they can't afford to take a rep off. So if you're number 1, why would you take the rep off?
I feel like I'm going to say amen.
We need
hey,
everybody on the team.
Somebody get this man
your weakest link. You know what I mean? But you have to see it though. That's why I love watching film because I'm looking at your body language. That's why I said earlier when the spring started, I want to watch body language. I want to see people that are out there. I want to get all the film, all the footage I can see because your body language tells me everything. If you look scared, I can tell. If you look unsure of yourself, I can tell. I'd rather you be unsure going 100 miles per hour than it just look like a busted play.
I agree. And that's why I hit you up. I was like, hey, we got, because I knew you were going to have this vision to see these things.
Oh, yeah. I was already looking at it all day.
this show got me fired up. I mean, look, Grimsley there, freshman, obviously, probably a little bit better on wrap up, but here's Asa Turner here. Boom.
You know what? You see how Grimsley got up? Look, I'm going to just show you little details. When he made that tackle, he got up and like wiped his hands off. That was like
next guy right here.
Look, when he get up, that little white right there, the little rub.
Yeah,
that's a little freshman rub. You know what I mean? That's like I made it. You know what I mean? It's practice. I'm not sure what's going on, but I did what I need to do. I believe.
That's a cocky. That's a confident rub.
It was not necessarily confident all the way. It was like it's a lot going on. Coach is asking us to do this. I ain't never hit a coach like that. Let me see. You know what I mean? But so I get up and I do this little rub. It's like,
okay, like a security thing then, like a.
Yeah,
I got you.
I got to get comfortable.
Yeah,
you know
okay,
what I mean?
okay.
But it's going to turn on. It's going to turn on.
Yeah, because look, this is Turner here, right? Like he's so focused. He's worried about just knocking his player on the ground, right? Like where Grimsley's still thinking about like he's not in the moment.
Technique of the tackle. The coach said, "Okay, bend low." Coach said, "Do this, wrap up, squeeze."
He's thinking about everything. Aza's just doing right here. That's why
the rub. That's why he does the rub at the end. Look, it's a little. It's.
Yeah, I love this. Listen, this is top notch quality.
The mind game behind football, man. No, man. I watch body language heavy, bro. But
there's Austin back there peeking, yelling shit.
You see how he wiped his hand, then he got the little hop. Let me keep running.
Yeah,
that's because coach said after the drill, ain't no walking. But so he's on the hop. He jumps up like, oh, I'm supposed to be running. I like that. You know what I mean? Some other players are getting up a little. Look,
but I think it goes to
run.
We've talked with a lot of the guys, right? Where like the game slows down for you year 2, Right now,
Right.
it's not slow for him. I mean, you're thinking about everything. I got to get down, got to get low, got to be fast, got to run to the play.
But that's the good thing about it. He's actually listening. He's not coming
Okay.
in saying, I
Sure.
know what I'm doing.
Sure.
He's
Okay.
not coming in saying, hey, I'm Jameer Grimsley. I just run and hit this guy. And if no, he's trying
Little
to
humility
do
there
what
then, in a good way.
Yes.
Okay.
He's being
Okay.
coachable right now. I love it. And I'm not telling lies yet.
I am.
I haven't started telling the lies yet.
This is a good tackle by Grimsley right here.
Yeah.
So this is Grimsley right
That's
here.
good money, boy.
Body language.
Yeah. Mhm.
What are we feeling?
He still has a little bit more to go. He's still, once he gets totally comfortable, he doesn't want to hurt the coach right here. I tell you that much. So he's just getting low, making sure he gets the squeeze and wrap. Come next week, he'll be flying through, coach. They might want to get the bag out of the way.
So yeah, you love this though. You love Stephen Harris getting clapped here.
Oh yeah.
Hey, so here's what I love. Last year we were tackling Dunkin' Donuts.
Come on, man.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Tackling this rolling donut down the football field, and it was more of a technique thing because you're trying to put your hand through the hole. But this you're getting the feeling of hitting somebody, and you're understanding. Yep. This is, to me, is obviously way better than tackling a donut because you're not afraid to hit a donut.
For sure. No, for sure.
The first time you go to hit somebody and you feel, oh shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, the donut doesn't have legs and it's not leaning down with the ball like it has shoulders. So I mean,
it ain't gonna hit back.
It was more so for getting your head on the right side with the whole concussion stuff, making sure players learn how to do that with the donuts.
Okay.
But this right here is elite. You get to see people get their body in the right position to tackle a live person. You got to grab legs. You got to squeeze cloth. You got to do all that stuff. There's none of that on the donut.
I love it. So it's safe to say we're back then, right? 15-0.
Oh, we are. Yeah. Hey, buy your tickets to Atlanta.
Hey, peep the hoodie though, boys. We got a Hall of Fame.
Yeah. You messed. Hold on, let me get them down.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, check the pants though.
Oh, let's see. Look, I need the whole set, and then I need it in black and white.
Look at us. We're a little high top.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. Yeah, I know, right?
We're adorable.
Make sure you hit the site. It's High Top Sport, no S, just hightopsport.com.
It's already taken, boys.
You got all the merchandise on there.
Not the pants yet. Pants are limited edition, and the hoodie isn't. The hoodie you got to become. Yeah, the hoodie.
So they don't know about the tops. You didn't tell them about the women's wear.
The bras? No, that's a one-off for the wife.
Oh no, man, you can't do that.
Maybe you put them on there.
For sure. Because I'm gonna cop one, not for me.
So my wife, she loves we had like an old sports bra from like this brand, my hype brand from a couple years ago, and she loves it. She's like, I need some high top ones. So I seen you the picture. They're clean.
Yeah,
they're clean.
They fire, bro. They fire. You got to get them on the site, bro.
All right, I'll see what I can do. Well, Mr. Stephen Harris, this was an absolute blast. Do you have anything that you wanted to go over that I didn't ask you?
No, man. I just can't wait to see some more.
We got a lot to go over. We're gonna be busy from now until spring. You're going to the spring game, right?
Yeah, I'll be out there.
I mean, this month's gonna what I said this a couple weeks ago. I said this right now, starting. It's March 12th. It's already started.
Well, we need everybody to meet us at the spring game anyway, because you're supposed to go live, right?
Yeah, we'll be live.
Yeah, so all the viewers meet us at the spring game.
Yeah, we'll figure out a spot and let you guys know. Yeah. But these next 45 days are the most electric days for sports for me outside of football season, because we got this. Then we have March Madness coming up, which is going to be mayhem, which I'm pumped about. Mm-hmm. Then we have the Masters, which is golf. That's me. And then we've got spring ball. And which is April 13th. So these next it's going to be mayhem. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Like this video. We got almost 360 people in here on a Thursday night on a pop-up live. So I love that. Everyone's been great. The feedback's been phenomenal. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in. We are back home, as you guys can see. So drove 9 hours today to get back and get ready to roll. We're back and ready to go, and I was fired up for what we see. I hopped in the spaces with you early. I was jazzed up. I was ready to go.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised. Shelton was in the space, guys.
Yeah, I was there. Usually I kind of just peek in and peek out, but I was fired up. I was ready to go.
He wasn't anonymous this time.
No. I was there. I was full reign, full effect. All right, Mr. Stephen Harris. Well, I appreciate you, boss man. You be good. I'm going to let you go and then close it down, man. I'll see you, boss man. Thank you.
All right, go Gators, baby. Yes, sir.
Go Gators, boss man. All right, boys and girls. Well, you guys have a great rest of your evening. Fantastic show. Shout out to Cam Parker and, of course, Mr. Stephen Harris for joining us today to talk all things of a day one, to tell you some lies. I'm fired up. I got it queued up here. I'm seeing Jameer Grimsey just popping to Coach Harris. It's got me jazzed up, man. It's got me beyond fired up for what's about to happen this season. I told you I was going to start telling some lies. It's got everybody into this good, warm, fuzzy feeling, which is exciting to see. Obviously, what Cam said, there's going to be some interviews, some Mertz popping up from Tyler Miles. Other clips may come out, so we're going to keep our eyes peeled. I would expect us to be busy for the next week or so, pumping content out. Should have an interview set up for tomorrow. Let you know if that does go through. Working on it now with somebody, so we'll keep you guys in touch. But be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you boys in the next one. $5 from Jackson Beverly says, Steven, oh, he's gone, sorry. Steven, what did you think of Justin Midget? Played quarterback at Florida in 03 and 04. He was one of my coaches in high school. Jackson, I apologize. He's gone. I just saw this. I think you're a little behind on the maybe the stream. All right, boys. I love you. Thank you for the $5, Jackson. Jackson, we'll try to get it on when Steven's on later. If Steven's watching, maybe Steven can tweet out his answer, and you can go follow him at Famo Gang on X, Jackson, if you do have a Twitter. So. He's going to enjoy the $5 with Jackson. Look, like I said, I'm sure Steven's watching. I'll shoot him a message, and I'm sure maybe you can tweet at him. So, boys and girls, I love you. See you till the next time. Peace and love, baby.